Hey guys, welcome back to Cloaky Disc Golf. Today I'm going to be talking all about putting. I want to go over a few philosophies that I think about and also just a few mechanical things that have helped me. I don't really like making a legitimate how-to video where I want you to copy exactly what I do. One of the good things about disc golf is that there's so many different ways to get the job done. Before I get into that, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for everyone dropping likes and comments. I really appreciate all the interactions. It really goes a long way in helping out the channel, so I appreciate that. All right, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Really testing these mics out today. The real reason I wanted them in the first place was for all the car traffic and wind at work, so we'll see how this turns out. Been using this little cutout here to putt, especially in the weather, as you can see, completely covered. It's right by the door of this movie theater here, so I put a t-shirt around the pole. It's really been good for soundproofing this thing. I can barely hear it. So, putting. A lot of people say it's mostly mental. I definitely agree with this. I'd say the number one thing to help you with your putting is to be in a positive mindset while you're putting. You first have to be aware of your mental state when you're doing well. Now, this could be in a tournament or even in practice, but we've all felt that feeling where we just can't miss. When you are stepping up to that putt, thoughts that you should be having should all be positive. They should all include you making the putt you're about to try to make. One thing that helps me get into that zone is actually thinking about the sport cornhole. I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely played. To me, cornhole is like more of a backyard game. Anytime I've played, I've had no problems feeling like every shot I have, I can throw it exactly where I want it. It's just picking up a bag and throwing it. And I know that's different than putting a disc into a basket. The philosophy should be the same. I shouldn't have any other negative thoughts when I go to putt, any more so than I have when I'm playing cornhole. So one thing that actually does help me is saying cornhole. I'm not like standing there saying it out loud like cornhole, cornhole, cornhole. But I am repeating it in my head, so that way it kind of gets me into that mindset where I'm just stepping up, seeing my target, and executing. If you're able to get into this zone mentally, it's going to help your putting out tremendously. All right, so once you've recognized what it is that allows you to get into that positive mindset when you're putting, obviously you're going to want to do it as much as possible. But at the same time, another philosophy that I have with putting is just giving it a chance. You have to think about it in just plain odds. If the disc never gets above the basket, the chances of it going in are just zero. But even if I throw a really high putt, the chances of it going in are way higher because it could fall in at any time. It's true, and it helps me mentally, honestly, just giving it a chance in the air. And what I mean by giving it a chance is just giving it the height, giving it the spin, and giving it the power necessary to actually get into the middle of the basket. Wow! And lastly, the biggest thing with putting is just repping it out. At this point, hopefully you're aware of the cues that allow you to get into that positive zone, and your mechanics allow you to give every putt a chance to go in. Now it's just solidifying that muscle memory, not only mechanically, but mentally also. I know some guys like to just get a big stack of putters and kind of just rifle them off, but to me that kind of doesn't necessarily help with a tournament. It definitely helps with just getting that muscle memory and the reps. But personally, I feel like if you aren't necessarily doing something right mentally and physically, and you're just doing a bunch of reps, you could be practicing the wrong thing a bunch of times. So personally, I like to take every putt like it's a putt that means something. So that way I'm practicing getting into that zone. Now, making a putt isn't anything but routine and something that I've done hundreds of times. When you rep it out, it really gives you a chance to lock in that routine that's going to help you make more putts in a tournament. When it comes to a tournament, I'm able to kind of just fall back into that mental state that I'm in right now when I'm practicing. And it kind of allows me to take everything out of the picture and just focus on the basket and imagine that it's this basket right here on my lunch break, just practicing, talking to the camera. All right, and that's really all I have for you guys today. just a couple philosophy tools that I like to do that help me with my putting and that have helped me over the last couple years. To recap, that's going to be become aware of your positive mental state and find that zone. Give every putt a chance and do it with confidence and rep it out. You definitely got to practice. You can't just show up to a tournament and expect yourself to make every putt if you haven't done it a couple hundred times beforehand. I'm not saying it's not possible, and believe me, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I'm sure there's players out there that don't really need any practice, and they can just find that positive zone and make the putts that they need to. But one thing I'm trying to be more of this year is a student of the game, but I definitely want to be more aware and more mindful of what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling when I'm performing these athletic movements, because it has a lot more to do with that than it does just simple form work. Anyways, guys, appreciate you watching. I hope something I said here today helps somebody out there. Again, I want to say thanks for all the new subscribers. I appreciate your guys' interactions. It really does help out the channel. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I hope you're out there practicing your putting. All right, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm not like standing there saying it out loud like cornhole, cornhole, cornhole.